Hi everyone, how's it going? It's Captain 223 here. Well, I was on my way home from the hardware store yesterday, and I found this being thrown out, if you can believe it or not. This is a 1960 model Ariens TRAC-TEAM power unit, which is this piece here, and a 1959 model Ariens SNO-THRO attachment for the front of it there. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I thought my 1974 Ariens SNO-THRO was a TRAC-TEAM unit, but it is not, unfortunately. But this is. So I was on my way home, as I said, from the hardware store, and I saw the owner wheeling this out, and I swung around and I picked it up. And when I got it here, this big engine, which I believe is an 8 or 10 horsepower Tecumseh, was seized up rock solid, and there was no oil in it. As a matter of fact, there was no oil in it. If you shone a flashlight here down the dipstick tube, you could see shiny metal at the bottom of the sump. So the motor was totally seized up, rock solid. So all I did was I took this cover off here, and I put a pipe wrench on the output shaft, and I just started working it back and forth. And I managed to unseize the motor in about 20 minutes, and I got it going. So obviously I had a repaint job at some stage. You can see there's a color difference. They've repainted the outside of the auger housing, but not the inside. So you can see the paint inside the auger housing is much darker than the paint outside the auger housing. They've also painted over stickers, such as this one, which should have said Ariens SNO-THRO right there. And why I said I thought it was either an 8 or 10 horse is because they've painted over the stickers on here, which say whether or not it's an 8 or 10 horse. I do know that this engine here was made in '57 because of the little code here. They've also painted the handles. You can see here's the original chrome, and here's the silver paint they put on. They also painted this silver when it was originally orange. The massively oversized gear lever. This is one of the older style, very unsafe Ariens units. This is the engagement. It's just a handle you just push on like that, and then to turn the implement off you do that. Later on they put a handle up here to turn the implement on and off, but this is an older model. I do believe that 1960 is one of the first years they made this. I think they started in '58, so it's pretty young in the making of them. They've also sprayed over this lever here, the throttle handle. It's got the older style power drive where you actually let this handle off like this to make it drive, and you have to lock it like that to stop it from driving, which is quite unsafe because if you were to do that while the implement was engaged and became incapacitated in some regard, the machine would just sort of keep going, munching up everything in its path. But it's actually in very good condition. You can see it's had a piece of the handle replaced right there, and the skid shoes are brand new. They said they took it into a local mower repair place, there's the sticker right there, and got it repaired, and got the new skid shoes and the piece of the handle fitted just last fall. Then they used it heavily this winter, and it seized. I was also given the original owner's manual and the original proof of purchase for this machine when it was purchased in 1961 by, I believe, he said his uncle bought it in 1961. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you a bit of a start up here and see how it works. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've opened the fuel line here, or the fuel valve. They've replaced the fuel line at some stage, as you can see, but they haven't run it through the cutout in the motor, so it's just sort of hanging there. So I've gone ahead and I've also locked the drive. The drive doesn't actually become active until you turn the implement on, but I've locked it anyway just because, and I put it neutral. So this is a cold start. It hasn't been running since 2 days ago. You can see the muffler is stone cold, lock's cold, all that stuff. So I'm going to put it on full choke, and I'll turn it on here, and we'll see how it starts. So here we go. It's got a primer button, which isn't really a primer button. It's just sort of a little plate that covers the carburetor intake. So I don't even usually need that. So here we go. Let's see if it'll start. Another thing I thought I'd quickly point out about this blower implement here is that the impeller is huge. It's massive. I'd say it's a good 12 or 13 inch impeller in there. Here's my hand for comparison. I mean, that thing is gigantic. However, I don't think we're going to be needing this thing anytime soon. As you can see, spring has sprung, and it's very nice out. It's actually in the low 70s today, so it's very nice out indeed. So I'm probably just going to drain the gas out of this, as well as my 74, and just store them in the back shed until the snow flies again. But this thing is crazy big. It makes my little one look like a dwarf or something. It's so big. So I think this thing will definitely really kick some snow next winter. So that's my Trashpicked 1960 Ariens TRAC-TEAM unit with a 1959 snow throw attachment on the front. So until next time everyone, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.